Hi guys, I'm Thomas and welcome to my channel Prime Vegan. Since the barbecue season has already started, what's better than a cold beer, good company and tasty vegan burgers? Guys, I'm not gonna lie, it takes time, but I totally nailed this recipe, so trust me, when I say I nailed it, I nailed it. You better prep your burgers a day or two before, so when you are ready to rock and roll, you just set your grill up and you enjoy your epic burgers. You can serve them with whatever you like, different kinds of buns, sauces, salads, so feel free to customize them as you like. Hope we all are ready now, so let's get started and don't forget to subscribe and share your comments. We're gonna start by making the lentils. Fry an onion with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Add 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. Add half a teaspoon of garam masala, 2 cups of lentils, teaspoon of sea salt, half a teaspoon of paprika and quarter teaspoon of ground pepper. Now mix everything well and add your boiling water. Make sure you have enough water so they don't dry out. They should all be covered and just a little bit above. Let them simmer until they are cooked. Add your mushrooms to a food processor and process them until they are very fine in texture. I had to split them in half, otherwise they wouldn't process properly. The next step is to fry an onion with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Add a tablespoon of chopped garlic. Add all of your ground mushrooms, half a teaspoon sea salt, half a teaspoon dry thyme, quarter teaspoon of ground cumin and quarter teaspoon of ground pepper. Let it cook for a minute and then move on to the next step. To a food processor, you're gonna add a cup of your cooked lentils, half a cup of shredded beetroot, half a cup of black beans, 1 cup and 3/4 of your mushrooms, 2 tablespoons of white miso paste, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, tablespoon of nutritional yeast, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, tablespoon of barley malt, or you can use maple syrup, half a teaspoon celery salt, half a teaspoon ground pepper, half a teaspoon dry parsley, half a teaspoon ground coriander, and 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Let your food processor go for a minute before you start adding your vital wheat gluten. Now you're gonna start adding your vital wheat gluten, but only half a cup at a time. Let it go for a minute again before you start adding more. Add another half a cup and process again. Keep adding more vital wheat gluten until you reach 2 cups and 3/4 in total. You will soon notice that it will start looking a lot like meat. It needs to be quite firm to the touch and bounce back. If you feel like it's still quite wet, just add a little bit extra vital wheat gluten. Now you need to knead your dough for exactly 10 minutes. If you don't knead it properly, your burgers will be very spongy. The gluten starts developing as you knead your dough. Once the time is up, this is what you should end up with. Let your water come to a simmer and add 2 bouillon cubes. Lastly, add 30 ml of soy sauce. Cover your pot and let it simmer. Now you need to cut the burgers and shape them. Grab each piece and start pressing them so they get firmer. Now grab a burger and start stretching it from each side. Flip it over and start pushing the sides to the middle. Flip it back and start stretching again. Now they are ready to be boiled. You need to make sure you only simmer them, you don't want them to come up to boil. Cover and cook for 35 minutes. This is what they should look like straight from the pot. Transfer them into an airtight container and put the leftover stock to keep them moist. You can fry them straight away, but they taste better the day after when they are set. You can also store them in the fridge for up to 4 days. When you are ready to use them, just heat up a vegetable oil and fry them. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you again very soon.